Rebecca with Living Young Country Girl, and if you guys have been following my channel, you know that we had some curriculum changes after our first semester where we realized the curriculum we were using wasn't working for us. Not that it was necessarily bad curriculum, it was just not the right fit for us. So I'm going to share with you guys what we switched to, and we've been using it since we started back up. Well, not all of it. We've been using a lot of it for at least 2 or 3 months now. But this is a math that we switched to since we decided that we weren't going to do Math UC anymore. And we're super happy with it. Now this is called Math Lessons for a Living Education. This is the level 1. And I have to say that I probably should have got level 2 for my son. He just turned 8, but he's definitely a little behind. He just wasn't ready to start kindergarten when he should have, so we actually just waited a year and just worked on some little things. And we struggled a lot. He's struggled a lot with some of the learning, so we are a little bit behind, but I do feel that this particular book is probably even more too easy for him, but it's really good. I think just review it and we can get the lessons done really quick because it's a lot of review, but at the same time I think it's really starting to sink in a little bit more because the other way wasn't really clicking in. He was doing the lessons, but he wouldn't remember them. And so he would remember them like right after he did it, but it wasn't like sticking. And so for me, it's really important that these lessons stick because there's no point in spending all this time teaching them if they're going to forget the next week what they learned last week. So I was kind of getting frustrated when I saw that happening. As soon as he'd move on to a new subject, he'd forget the old subject. And they did do some review, but it wasn't very repetitive. And so I kind of was worried about him, I don't know, just falling behind in certain areas. So we decided to switch to this. Now we skipped pretty much the first part of this book and we've kind of just been like browsing through it. I felt like he still didn't quite have a grasp on the tens value spots and the ones and the hundreds and all of that. So this little printout comes in the book and they just tell you to cut it out and laminate it. So we just cut it out and laminated the hundreds house, the tens and the ones. And he has really been able to understand it this way. Now, I do have to say that the Math UC had the same idea, but it wasn't clicking with him. And I don't know why, but with this book and reading the stories that go along with it, it really worked. I was able to explain to him how, you know, this house only has 9 bedrooms with 1 bed, so only 9 people can stay there. This house has 9 bedrooms, but there's 10. They have like bunk beds that are 10 high in this house, so they can house more, but they can only house, you know, 90, and you can only come if you're a group of 10. And so just being able to explain it, which they kind of give you little notes on how to help explain it. And then you have the hundreds house. So like today we decided to use chocolate chips and M&Ms, or chocolate chips and marshmallows. So marshmallows were 10 value and the chocolate chips, the mini chocolate chips were, you know, 1's value. And the marshmallows were also 100 value if they were the mini ones, but still. We did it that way and he was able to really do it. So I was like, okay, so, you know, this many people came to visit. Where would they stay? Where would they be able to stay if 27 people came to visit? And so he was like, okay, so 2 groups of 10 would go in this house and 7 single ones would go in this house. And so he really has been able to grasp the concept. So I really enjoy that. There is no teacher's guide. This is the whole book. You can actually pick this up on Amazon. It's super reasonably priced, which is another great thing. We switched over to The Good and the Beautiful for our language arts, history, and science and handwriting, but they don't have a math yet. And they're getting, I think, 1st grade this year. And depending on, I saw the preview of the kindergarten and it's definitely too little for him. And he should be higher than 1st grade next year. But I know that it seems like I just drew a blank, The Good and the Beautiful, their curriculum is pretty high standards. So we might find that it worked for him. We'll definitely make it through this book before the end of the school year because like I said, it's really simple work and he gets done with it really quick. And we're on a time schedule versus a lesson. We work for a certain amount of time and that seems to work a lot better too. So they know that they've got 20 minutes to work on it, and if they goof around then we add 5 minutes, but generally speaking they're pretty good about working on it and getting it done. So this is how it works since there's no teacher's guide. This little gray box up here is your little kind of teacher's spot, and it will tell you like today, you know, have your student practice with the place value village, have them explain to you what they're doing and why, and then, you know, it kind of goes from there, and then they practice writing their numbers, which he's gotten so much better at doing his numbers, doing that. So it goes in like here we're talking about befores and afters, what number comes before, what number comes after, and then there might be some things in here again, like I don't think we need to keep, if he's got it, we probably won't spend as much time on that. We'll kind of jump ahead. I don't think he needs to repeat it and repeat it and repeat it because he's already had it before. But what I love about this is at the beginning of learning about the tens and how to bundle that, you know, and do all that, the place value, they have a story. And this story is really cute. It's about the grandpa and how he's going to be selling his carrots and he needs to put them in bundles of 10, and how, you know, once he has bundles of 10, he can do it from there. So it gives a little story about it, and he really enjoys the story time, as well as there's actual science projects in here too. So it's really cool. So like we did that one, and then it goes through, you have a lesson. So this is your lesson for the day. And then it has exercises. So you have day 1, day 2, and that's all it is. Like for that day, they're really, really short. And then it goes through 5 days. So you work on that concept for 5 days, and then you switch to the next one. So here is, this one's actually reviewing the concept. So you're going to go through and review kind of what you learned from the beginning of the book through. And then it goes through reviewing all of the concepts that you learned for 5 days. And then you're going to go place values, patterns of tens. So there'll be a little story again, and then we will go into working on that for 5 days. Now again, because he is repeating some of this, I feel that we don't necessarily have to do the 5 days. Like he's already, like when it goes into, you know, introducing the addition symbol, he knows that. He can add really good. So we'll probably kind of skip through and skip some of those lessons again. But I wasn't too worried about it because I'm trying to say it was like in the $20 range to get this, which with the math you see, I know just the manipulatives bought used were like $75. So, you know, for me to be able to use it this way is really great. They have at the end of the book, they have this little appendix that talks like the little manipulatives. You have a clock and how you can put it together, you know, and it tells you the instructions, the days of the weeks card that you can laminate so you can practice that. You've got a hundreds chart, and they say, you know, to go ahead and laminate it, and then they can practice writing it. They have the number cards, a little addition, math, you know, practice. So they have some really great little manipulatives in the back, but they are literally just, you know, on a piece of paper that you can laminate, and they have those self-laminating if you don't have a laminating machine. But I really enjoy that. So I'm excited to keep going. This is going to take them all the way up to learning about up to 100. And then it goes into single digit addition and subtraction, which he was starting to work on the double digits with the math you see. But again, he wasn't quite sinking in, like he wasn't getting it. So I saw him, he was struggling, and that I didn't want to see, because then he got frustrated and he didn't want to do it anymore. So we decided to switch it up. And like I said, I'm super happy with this. I would 100% recommend it for any parents. It's very hands-on, and it's very enjoyable for both myself and my son to do. It does require a lot more parent involvement because you're reading them the story and you're working with them. But I think at this age, that's super important. We probably will switch to teaching textbooks when he hits 3rd grade level, when he's ready for that, because we already have all the discs, and I'll see how he enjoys it. My daughter's been doing it for the past 3 years, and she enjoys it, but she's kind of getting to a point where she's getting like bored of it. So I'm not sure what we're going to do. I'm horrible at math, so I don't really want to have to teach her because I don't think I would do it justice. But we'll have to see. I think she'll just continue with that because it's such a great curriculum and we enjoy it and I don't have to teach it. So that's what we've been using for math. If you guys have any questions or you want to see some of my other videos, I'll put the playlist in the description box so you can check out some of the other curriculum ones we've been doing. And I'm going to be posting a lot more homeschool videos on my channel. I know in the past it has been more about essential oils and stuff, but my goal is to post 1 homeschool video a week and 2 essential oil videos a week, and then 1 video about traveling, the farm, like raising chickens, that kind of stuff. So I'm really trying to expand my channel so that you guys can learn more, because I'm trying to share what I'm passionate about. And honestly, I'm passionate about teaching my kids, you know, and doing homeschool with them and growing that family bond, which for us comes in vacation time. So like, you know, I'll talk a little bit about that, share some of our tips about Disneyland, because we're big Disneyland fanatics. And we're planning a trip to Disney World this year. Hopefully it will happen, but I will definitely share those. And then we go to Disneyland 3-4 times a year. So we really enjoy that family time, because that's something, like I said, I'm very passionate about. My husband works really long hours. So for us, it's a really great way to disconnect and just like reconnect as a family. So definitely going to be sharing about my family, sharing about homeschooling, sharing about our oils that we love because they've helped us so much with just all of our health and wellness, and about switching from being a city girl to a country girl with chickens and ducks and horses and dogs. I think right now we have 8 dogs right now because we're fostering 2. We love working with rescue animals and stuff, so that's something that we've been passionate about. We volunteer at a horse rescue, we foster dogs, and just really enjoy that. So I want to be sharing some more of those things with you guys as we continue on. So if you're new to my channel and those things sound interesting, be sure to subscribe. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you stuck around to the end to listen to all of this beyond the review of this math book, thank you so much. I hope you guys have a beautiful, wonderful day, and we'll see you guys all again real soon. Bye.
Jesus, wake me from my sleep. Father, come, breathe breath in me. I'm in the shadow of your wings, overcome by everything. I need your hand, your touch.